Don't get too close, Chad.
I know, but when you're telling the show based on Brady, I will stay with you and I'll give you updates as they give me. Oh, no, not delay. No.
Excuse me, sir. Just stand behind the microphone. Yeah. Sorry? You stand behind the microphone.
Yeah.
So what is there? You got the Bible?
What is that?
You got the Bible?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good?
Good. Invested. And the reporters stand back so we can get shots of them walking up. When's he going to be going? The problem is he can look this way. Do we know where he's coming from? Yeah, he's coming right now.
Chad, come over here and stand by me and shout out from this side.
I was trying to stay away from you. I was trying to space it out so everybody had a little bit of working every direction.
We'll just remind you.
Well, I got to ask him about those active bonds.
It's going to be frustrating to have to redo the whole today shift.
Yeah, wait till next chart. It's December. It's like this every December. I guarantee we will be here next Friday night. This time, bouncing bills back and forth. Mark my word.
The process is going to start about 5 a.m. on Friday.
Yeah, that's what we did. Right about this time. Right about this time. And that bill's that's a much more like check.
That would be a good question. No, it's not for the sound, it's just in case you want to.
Took no time at all.
Jack,
Sure.
I don't know if you remember, but it was almost 9 years ago when we were doing the same thing in front of Pelosi's office just before the financial crisis. Just up there.
Yep. Well, I remember that more. That was a Thursday night affair because I remember I was going to the Rayburn garage to see the towing of Charlie Rangel's broken down Mercedes-Benz, which was part of the ethics complaint. When I found out about it, I was walking across over here to go to the Rayburn garage, and then that's when the whole financial crisis. That's exactly. So I never got to see the Benz get towed out of the Rayburn garage.
Yeah, their story.
We're trying to
True
get
story.
walking over from over there. Thank you very much.
Am I able to move back?
Chad, you're in the shop. Walk from over there.
I'll stay away. I'll be the. I'll let you know.
No, actually, I got it. He could be here. Right? No, I'll make a noise.
Chad, you're not watching.
Oh, just some.
You can change it.
I don't want to forget. Every once in a while I stop. To, student coming over there.
Yep, sorry.
No, you can go.
Mike Christian on Capitol Hill, you got the greatest
Hi. So good evening, everyone. So we have filed the bill conference committee report on the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in the House. This means that the text of this new tax reform bill will become public now, and the American people will be able to assess the impact of a new tax code. My point is this: Americans deserve a new tax code for a new era of American prosperity. That's exactly what the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act does. Over the weekend, and as we head to the vote, we'll also be able to finally, because the House and Senate versions were different, families, small businesses, and frankly our local businesses that compete around the world will now have a bill to analyze and embrace. And so I'm very excited about this moment. It has been 31 years in the making and took a lot of hard work by a lot of people to make this day happen. I'm proud of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. With that, be glad to take some questions.
Chairman Brady, when this started, you were talking about 4 brackets, filing on a postcard, simplicity. It doesn't look like that anymore.
So with the standard deduction nearly doubled in a number of those provisions, the postcard still remains. Are there a few more items on it? Sure. But that was what the process we wanted. We said from the very beginning, this isn't our tax code. It belongs to the American people, and it does. So in the House, we really took it down the foundation and began to rebuild it the way the American people want it in the 21st century, not 30 or 50 years ago. We listened. Our lawmakers listened to their constituents, families and businesses, and this tax reform reflects the priorities of the American people.
Mr. Chairman, the idea that you had to expand these brackets on both the corporate and personal side here, and raising where some of those brackets fell, was part of that because you had to get this to fit into the reconciliation rules on the Senate because of the deficit spend, and that's why some of those areas went up, especially on the personal side, much higher?
So the rates went down in the family brackets to provide more tax relief. One of the reasons we're going to have very strong middle-class tax relief, but we're also going to have tax relief for families who live in these high-tax states. We made that commitment to our SALT lawmakers. We would improve the bill, and we achieved that. We now have a $10,000 deduction for SALT taxes. Families can fill it up with the way they need for their families. We have a lower top bracket, really a key ask by lawmakers in SALT states. But those help everybody in America as well. And then we did achieve even more middle-class tax relief. And so all that was done to drive tax relief for everyone, regardless of where they live.
But not attention to the deficit part. That wasn't why some of that changed.
No, absolutely not. That was continuing to lower the brackets and lower the rates, make sure we want people to keep more of what they earn wherever they live, and we achieve that.
Sir, can you talk about the timeline of who votes first, the House, the Senate, and when they should do that? And also, what about Senator Corker? Does that mean the Senate has enough votes now?
Well, I always leave the timing and the vote to schedule for our leadership. I do know we'll be returning Monday to begin the rules process. The votes in the House and Senate will occur after that. The timing I'll leave sequence to our Speaker and Leader. And yes, I do predict both the House and Senate will approve this tax reform bill. Lots of momentum of building.
Chairman Brady, there were some last-minute changes. Can you discuss what some of the revenue raisers were to make room for those changes?
Well, I would direct you, we will have Joint Committee on Taxation. We'll lay out the revenue tables here shortly. What you'll see is that there were adjustments made throughout the whole tax reform bill. There wasn't any one or two provisions that allowed us to stay under the $1.5 trillion. It really was a combination of different adjustments in different areas, which we think is the most balanced way to do it. Yeah.
Confident that nobody will see tax increases, or will there be some people who will see a slight increase because of the way things land? What do you think?
Look, I think, no, I know everyone's lives will be better off under tax reform because of the tax relief families get, because of the higher paychecks, because we have a stronger economy. And again, this is all about also bringing back jobs from overseas, which if we had not acted now, we would continue to see our headquarters, our research, our manufacturing, and our jobs leave the country. And so the combination of that will raise paychecks and allow you to keep more of what you earn. Maybe, and this isn't really talked about much, but we need a tax code where our local businesses can compete and win anywhere in the world, including here at home. We achieve that.
Chairman Brady, directionally, when you made changes in general terms, did you go more towards the Senate bill or split the difference between the Senate and the House bill?
Yes, so we took the best of both ideas in here. In many cases, because we had a deliberate timetable we had announced half a year ago to get this to the president's desk, we took the text that was closest to where we thought we would end. And from that standpoint, it's sort of a mix of the House and the Senate. It's the way it should be.
What was the final change you had to make to get everybody to say this is it?
You know, there are always at the end of these major negotiations several changes that have to occur. We did it. Like there's no one that had to be done at the end. Yeah.
So, Chairman, what did you do for Puerto Rico?
And so the major Puerto Rico provision that we had pushed, which was to create and make them eligible for opportunity zones to help them rebuild and economic development, ultimately did not pass the Byrd test in the Senate. And so the Speaker and I have decided to put that provision on the supplemental. After speaking with Delegate Gonzalez to help continue to rebuild Puerto Rico. I think more can be done as well, but I think this is important. We are just absolutely committed to helping that island rebuild.
But you didn't make the first and second child eligible for the child tax credit or expand?
Not yet. So, yeah.
Chairman Brady, assuming this does get passed and signed before the end of the year, when do you think regular people will feel it?
Yes. So there are two important things happening. One, after the first of the year, workers will be able to see a new table so they can decide withholding figures. So you can choose to get your tax relief early in the year, or you could keep them as they are and take them in the next tax filing system. That's one key thing. I think maybe the most important element people aren't yet thinking about is this April 15th, when you file your taxes, that is the last time you will file under this monstrous broken tax code. In future years, you will see a tax code that's built for growth, leapfrogs America back to the lead, and frankly, just lets people keep more of what they earn. So, yeah.
Sorry, one quick question. There's been some concern about how quickly this bill was written. Are you confident that, as written, it won't require any fixes afterward? And if it does, do you think Democrats will come on board and vote for it in the Senate?
So I can't anticipate, I can't imagine any major undertaking like this that doesn't require technical corrections in the future. And because some of these policy changes really are game-changing for America, for example, no longer taxing you here and taxing you abroad, allowing companies to bring their earnings to be reinvested back in our communities and our manufacturing plants and research at a zero tax rates. All these are major changes. So I anticipate work to continue on tax reform in the international area, for example. But also, I'm still convinced, and members are as well, we can do even more to improve this tax code. So I'm hopeful Democrats who've always said they're for tax reform, but today are defending the status quo. I hope they rethink that and work with us to improve the code. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.